Andrew Roberts, CEO and one of the joint founders of the Podiatry Hive. And today I want to talk to you about a really powerful topic that's going to help you grow your podiatry practice, and that's mastering the art of presenting. And I'm going to just swiftly move through 7 key components when it comes to delivering an effective presentation. You can deliver these as webinars, you can deliver these obviously face-to-face to an audience. Now, many people have a huge fear when it comes to presenting, and it's often a greater fear than it's often regarded as one of the greatest fears of all, even greater and higher than death. It's very, very normal, and I feel that it's one of those areas when you actually, the fear comes from you being nervous about what other people are thinking. But what you want to do is you want to flip it, and you want to focus on what value can I add to my audience. Now, that's one of the key things, and as a podiatrist, you've got so much information, so much useful stuff that you could get out there and ring your community and start delivering presentations. I mean, I could name multiple people that would love to hear from you. There's sporting clubs, aged care facilities, we've got schools would love to hear from you, we've got diabetes, doctors would love to hear from you, and it's a powerful concept because you're creating a form of leverage. Instead of influencing one person at a time, you've got the ability to influence multiple people at a time. But I'm just going to rapidly move through 7 key steps. For those that are in our Podiatry Hive community, we're going to take you into more oomph around these 7 steps in the upcoming webinar. But step number 1 is you want a strong introduction. You want to be able to comfortably smile, stand up on stage and ask, it could be something along the lines of, who in the audience, who in the room uses their feet? Okay, it sounds pretty common sense, but you want to involve the audience. Who in the room enjoys and appreciates and thinks that exercise is important? And you're going to get involvement in the room, and you'll watch and make sure you really get them to stand up their hands, put their hands up, and then you're going to stop and say, look, the feet are some of the most used limbs in the human body. On average, we walk more than 4 times around the globe. 25% of your bones are in your feet. This presentation is really, really important. It's going to be very useful for you today, in the next few years, and for the rest of your life. So please pay attention to what I'm about to teach you. Bang, strong introduction. The second step, which is not always fundamental, but it's called like a stick. And it's almost like, look, if you stick around to the end, I'm going to give you a really good opportunity to do X, or I'm going to show you where I'm going to give away a free ebook that's going to really help your running or something. So it's just nice. I often think of, what can I drop at the front to get them enthusiastic to maybe stay to the end of my presentation. It's not fundamental, but it is a step. Step number 3, we want to bring in what's called or known as your core story. So you're going to introduce your presentation. So I'm here today to talk about how to run better, for an example. You're going to stick to the end. There's a competition. I'm going to give away a free pair of shoes. That's an example. Now, first, let me tell you a bit more about me. And it's your opportunity to share your story as to why you became a podiatrist and why you're so passionate about feet. And people buy people, and this is an opportunity for you just to, if you like, allow the audience to become familiar with your mission, okay, your purpose, why you do what you do, and you've got an ability to connect and win people over here. Fourthly, we want to move into some core content. We want to actually start teaching, and my advice, 2 to 3 bits of information. So you might say, today we're going to teach you how to run better. Core story, let me first tell you a bit about me. There's 3 things I'm going to cover off that is going to help you run better. Firstly, we need to look at your shoes, okay? Secondly, we need to look at the angle of your body when you run. I'm just making this up. And the third thing we need to look at is the stretch down at the back end of the run. So you're going to tell them what you're going to tell them, then you're going to tell them, and then eventually you're going to conclude and tell them what you've just told them. So you're going to move through these 3 pieces of key content, and it's really good to think of facts and figures if you can, and case studies to elaborate on your information that you're educating and you're communicating on. Once you do that, the next step is what's called a transition. Okay, so a transition is where you start moving from teaching and you're now wanting, you're wanting to then shift the audience from being educated to, I want to take advantage of the next step. If anything, I always try and look at presenting of a way of educating the audience and how can I generate a sale out of it? How can I get them to book a session with me? And when you get good at this, there's a real formula. I can promise you, you can actually get 10, 20 people in the audience to actually book a session with you. And a transition is like a transition in a car. You're shifting from teaching into now inviting to purchase, or inviting to take, very important, you want that audience to take some form of action. At the very least, you want to collect their details. My advice, you've got an opportunity right here to offer an initial consultation. It requires a bit of confidence, but if you do it correctly, you could, the transition is, this is how I do it. So look, you've come along today to learn all about the feet and how to run better. And I've taken you through X, Y, and Z about how to run better. And I hope you've also taken away A, B, and C. So where you're at right now is cool. I've got this information. What's next? And this is why, through my podiatry business, we offer what's called an initial consultation. Now, an initial consultation involves a thorough analysis of your foot. You know, you get it looked at by a professional. We maybe even do a scan if we feel it's necessary. We check, you and your family out, blah, blah, blah. So you describe the initial consultation. So the transition is from teaching into, look, it's called the obvious question. The obvious question where you're at now is, well, what's next? And then you educate them on what you want them to do. So this is an ability to sell an initial consultation. And then the final step is the close. Now, I think it's selfish if you've got someone in the audience that needs your help, that's listening to you while you're running a presentation, that's thinking, far out, I've got all these problems and my foot's constantly hurting and I'm not running correctly, whatever it might be. You have a duty, in my opinion, to say to them, here's your next step. So the close is describe the initial consultation and then give them the opportunity to buy immediately. So it could be, look, if you want to purchase an initial consultation today, it's usually $200 and today it's $150. And we're going to spend 45 minutes with you one-to-one, really analyse your feet, look at everything. All you have to do is fill out a form. And you've got the ability to hand the forms out right there and then and get them to purchase that initial consultation right there and then. Because far too many people that I see when they present, they're too worried about what everyone else thinks of them. And it's like, hang on, you can leverage that opportunity. At the very least, get them to fill out a form so they go onto your database so you can start educating them. So just to summarize, strong introduction. We want a stick strategy. We want you to share your core story, 2 to 3 pieces of core content, transition, and then we want to close. And the 7th step is to have fun, is just to let go and enjoy yourself, add value. You're skilled, people want to hear from you. It's a great way to oomph your influence within your community. I can guarantee you'll get so much from presenting. See you next time.